Hey, what's up,
What's good?
guys? It is Motivation Monday. You know how we do. We close the week, we begin the week. Me and that gentleman there on the other side of you, the one and only talent. Y'all know him. Y'all know his accolades. You know what that man is capable of. You know what he does week in and week out. I'm just along for the ride, but he's showing me the ropes along the way. Motivation. That's what all of this is about. Motivation
Hey,
is being
this is what
motivated
it
by
is,
one
baby.
another. I've talked to my partner in crime this week, and I thought we would touch on two things in particular. First off, is let's come together. Let's all work a little harder to do what we can to support one another and to make each other's journey a little bit less angry and tough. And then the second thing that I want to touch on, and this one was a little more important to me because, as y'all know, with the world opening back up, that man right there on the other side of me is getting to travel and do what he does best, which is touch people with laughter all around the country.
Yes, sir.
If y'all don't know, I'm in my other left side of the country. I'm in my West Wing establishment, and I just realized that we've got to travel more. We've got to work on getting out and seeing the world. And I was having this conversation with T, and I told him, I said, I think we have to talk about that a little bit because I don't think there are enough of us who understand how important it is to travel and what traveling does in terms of keeping you motivated and inspired.
Right.
Talent can speak to this a little bit more, especially with all of the places that he's gone to. But I'm gonna start the ball rolling with it. First off, let me ask my partner in crime, T. I know you're out here. You're doing these, various locations all around the country, and I know traveling is, a bit of a hassle sometimes. But the point is, you're getting out here, you're seeing the world again. How are
Right.
you, sir? How's traveling going, and how's the shows going, King?
Well, let me say this first and foremost, brother. This past week has kicked my ass. But you're right. Traveling this week is interesting. You want to talk about this today because I'm coming off of a very rare travel week. Like I travel a lot, but I had to do things a little different this week to make sure I made all my obligations. I was on what we call the first thing smoking. And the first thing smoking, you're talking about 5 a.m., 5:15, 5:30 flights. And that was every day of the week until yesterday, Sunday, I got back home last night. So but you're right about one thing is that getting out there and traveling, it gives you different choices of headspaces. Choice is a wrong word because it automatically actually takes over. It's not even like you have a choice. Like you just find yourself in a different headspace. And you know who we don't have to preach this to? It's funny, is the women. You don't have
Yes,
to preach traveling to women. Women, this is no secret to them. Women have been doing this. Most of us dudes, let's keep it real. Most of us dudes started traveling through a woman. Some smart
yes.
woman somewhere. Some take you to Jamaica. I'm gonna take you to da 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 da, and took your ass somewhere, and you was like, "This is nice," because your dumb ass didn't think of doing it on your own. I'm talking about from relationships, past, present, future. Even my kid's mom, my young ones, she was on that from the gate because she was a Disney World girl. So
Gotcha.
she pulled me into that thing, when my kids were born. And we'd have been there so much and everything. I go kicking and screaming every year. But when I get there, I'm like, this is like I couldn't have thought of it. You know what I mean? And I think we preaching to really the gentleman because men do not invest in their what's the word I'm looking for? Their tranquility. Men will put money on anything. Men will buy sneakers. Men will buy suits, cars, shoes. Throw parties, houses. They'll do everything. Bikes, all of the gadgets, toys, technology. They will put money into any and everything except travel. They don't just sit back and think on their own of travel. You know what I mean? What you think about that?
Yeah. It's again, man, it's so dope that you put it in that perspective. You use the word tranquility, but I'm using also peace of mind. As men, to talents, what talent just shared with us, we really don't think about that. Everything for us usually is under pressure in our minds, meaning, okay, I have these situations going on with my children, so I have to make sure resources are available to take care of these things. I have these things going on with my wife or my significant other. I have to make sure there's resources available for these things. We very rarely, like he said, invest in just time out where we can sit back, maybe smoke a cigar, look out at pretty bluish green water and beautiful sand, be in a tropical space where we can just unwind and relax. And it doesn't require us doing anything other than doing just that, relaxing. Like I said, I brought this topic into play today because first of all, I had a phenomenal weekend. I've been having a phenomenal week. I've been out here in Vegas now for a week. Been having a phenomenal week, seeing all kind of wonderful things. But yesterday, here's why this came to me. I had the opportunity to go to the Grand Canyon. Now, for those of you who have never been to the Grand Canyon or any of our fabulous places, here in the United States, you don't know what you're missing. Because in your mind, you think to yourself, oh, it's not that great a situation. Like you said, it's a hassle to get there and all these other things. But then you get there and you go, this might be one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. I kid you not. I was little, hearkened to, take the journey because from Vegas to get to Grand Canyon is a 2.5 hour drive. So it's like going to Philly from New York, or something like that. Long story short, I got two things accomplished. I left Nevada, drove into Arizona. So now I got to visit another new state that I can now mark off my checklist places that I've been. But the ride and to see all of the beautiful country that we live in, because you don't even think about how amazing it is to see all of the mountainsides and all these various things. And then from this perspective, and I did this as I was riding, I started thinking to myself, we're fortunate enough now to have cars and to have scooters and bikes and all these various things. But think about it. There was a time when people had to use horseback or walk that. So I started thinking about it, and I was thinking to myself, wow, we really have to get out more and appreciate the beauty of what the world is. And the beauty of that is getting out and seeing the world. I implore everybody who's on these lines, if you can't get out and maybe travel out of your state, go to the parks within your boroughs that you may or may not have gone to, which means if you haven't been to Van Cortlandt Park and you live in the Bronx, take you behind the Van Cortlandt Park. If you haven't been to Prospect Park in Brooklyn, go to Prospect Park. All of these beautiful places that you haven't been, you need to go see. Become one with nature again. Look up in the sky. Remember when you were a kid and used to ride in the car or used to ride on the train or something like that, and you look up at the sky and the clouds look like they were drawn in, and you'd be amazed. You'd be like, wow, it looks like a drawing. We have to get back to that. I get it. Life is happening in real time for everybody, and it seems to be, one thing after the other, and you feel like you're overwhelmed with all of this stuff. But bigger than that is taking a moment so that you can appreciate all the little things, because as I've said on various other occasions, all of the little things add up to the one big thing. So now. This is to show you how wild the world is. I could be any place in the world. I said I'm at the Grand Canyon yesterday. They have this thing called a sky bridge, which is like this glass thing that you can walk out so you can actually see down into the Grand Canyon. Unfortunately, there was a thunderstorm that came, so they had to close it down because they were saying, electricity, if it hits everything, everything's metal. So we had to come back inside. T, I'm standing inside, and out of the blue, somebody goes, Amir. I was like, I'm in the Grand Canyon. Who the hell knows me all the way in the Grand Canyon? What the? I'm bugging. I'm like, huh? Turn around. It was a young lady, to your point, who back in our Cancun days when we were doing Cancun with Puffy and so forth and so on, she
Right,
was one of the
right,
people
right.
who rocked with us in the Cancun days. And it was so bananas because I was saying to myself, I said, how did I find somebody all the way in the Grand Canyon? It ain't like I was in Walmart in Brooklyn. I was in,
Yeah,
what you call it, in the Bronx. I'm in the Grand Canyon. I said, huh?
that
Turned
shit
around.
never ceased to amaze me.
She was there with some friends. A friend of hers lives out here, and she was, her friend was telling her you should move out here. She said, "Look, girl, it's a beautiful, kind of tranquil place." But I
Yeah,
thought that it was so apropos because I was thinking to myself, like, we really don't think about how important, like you said, it is to find those tranquil places that you can go and recharge your battery, and just be happy. I took pictures up on the Grand Canyon that I probably wouldn't have taken any place else in the world. And, at some point, obviously, I'll post them so y'all will get a chance to see that. But what I found more amazing was just to look out. There was a storm that was brewing. So you could see a storm off in the mountains and the way
right.
the clouds were formulating for the storm. I mean, it's just so many amazing things that I got a chance to experience in those moments. And I just kept on thinking to myself, we got to talk about that. We have to bring to light that you have to travel. You have to get out of your neighborhoods. You have to get out of, if you live in Brooklyn, you got to go to Queens and you got to go to the Bronx. If you live in the Bronx, you got to go to Queens and you got to go to Brooklyn and vice versa. And then, even if you don't want to travel outside of the country just yet, because I know there are a lot of people still afraid to travel just based on what's going on in the world. I get that. There's a million beautiful things that you can see within our country, but you got to go out and do the legwork. Look stuff up. Stop being afraid to just get out of your neighborhood, because what tends to happen is the minute you get outside of your situation, you start realizing that maybe your life isn't so bad. Maybe things aren't so tough. When I get a chance to go out in town, and I'm sure you can, talk about this, a little more. But when you get out and you get to these various places around the country or outside of the country, you get to see what people really live like, and you think to yourself, "Wow, this is pretty scary." The kids running up to you who want to tie things on you so they can get $5 and things of that nature. No, I'm not knocking them. It is what it is. But what I'm
No,
saying
it's
is,
cute. It's
you
cute.
you live around your way. You think it's bad when the cat who stands in front of the bodega every day asks you for $1.50. These kids are really trying to find something so that they can eat that night. The dude who's trying to get the bum a cigarette off of you, he could do better. You like, look, Tyrone, look, nigga, me and you grew up together. You shouldn't have been smoking crack. It ain't my fault. Get your life together. It's a whole different energy that you get your mind frame and your mindset into. But I
No.
think that it gives you perspective. And I think for our Motivational Monday, one of the things that I'm hoping that people are taking away from this conversation is, like I said, even if you can't go far, if you haven't been to Philly and gotten a cheesesteak or seen the crack in the bell, get your behind on a bus or on a train and go to Philly. It don't cost you nothing to run up there real quick, check that stuff out. Why not? What are you doing around the way that's keeping you? You know what's gonna go on around the way. Taekwon and them gonna be on the block when you get back. Somebody's gonna have to have gotten in a fight. All the stupid stuff that normally happens, that's not gonna change. I can't stress enough how motivated I am when I get outside of New York to see how other people live. Here in Vegas, one of the things that amazes me, and I'm sure, it just stems from a lot of different things. Teslas are like freaking Toyota Ravs out here. Everybody drives a goddamn Tesla. Every time I look over, I'm like, well, who don't got a Tesla other than me? Jesus, how much money y'all making out here? But between Teslas and various cars and all this, beautiful stuff, you got to get out and see the world. Because
Right.
once you see the world, not only does it inspire you, but I think it'll put you in a space and in an energy that allow you to go, you know what? I'm doing better. I'm not doing so bad. Things are pretty good. So, I had to stress that because I couldn't, say it in enough words. I think traveling just gives you perspective. It allows you to see that there is more to the world than just your neighborhood. There's more to the world than just your job. Those things are going to be there. Trust and believe.
Right.
They ain't going nowhere.
Well,
You
I
know?
mean, here's the thing, man. I go back to what I said. I know that because, and I thought it was just me way back when I talk about traveling and the women is the one kind of women, they will find their tranquility. They don't give a fuck. They think the opposite of a man. A man usually thinks that's a waste of money. They could do something else with the money. Women know the value and just something simple like de-stressing and peace of mind. Now, this is where I learned this at. I thought it was just me, like I said at first. But being in the business, once we got into the marketing and promotion part of the business, when we started doing our ski trips and this, that, and the third, this is where you learn that men devalue it and place value in the wrong place, because the only way we get men on trips is only two ways. Either the man is coming with his significant other, something she want to do, and say, hey, let's go to Jamaica on talents, whatever trip, or let's go to the ski trip, or let's go to the crafties. Or the dudes are going, you got to pitch to them. It's going to be a lot of chicks there, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be some, niggas are, part of my friends, going to be some bitches, there's going to be mad. So, I mean, that's a damn shame that I gotta do that to get the guy. Like a guy is almost never looking at it like, looking at a flyer like, I should go do this, man, and relax for the weekend. This look like some entertainment. should I? They never do it that way. It's either and I apologize, ladies, but it's a business. We got to push that they're gonna be there. The ladies gonna be there. Blah blah blah. To this day, just something simple like a comedy show. Most guys are there because they know chicks are gonna go there. They're not going like all the dudes I know. And no disrespect, and I hate the way it's gonna sound, but I'm probably, if not I'm one of the top 5 funniest niggas in the world, right? As far as we know in this country. So, and that still ain't enough. Yeah, I know T, my man, T Cool said, yeah, he funny as hell. Bitch is gonna be there.
Sure.
Like, and that's a real fact. So we got to use that in marketing to get the guys, especially the guys that are single or traveling alone and blah blah blah. Like I said, the only other way that they're definitely there is if their wife or girlfriend or fiance or baby mother or some chick they dating is like, yo, that's dope, let's do that. And then they'll do that. And then the same way I said, I always go kicking and screaming, that's how they go. And then they get there, they have the fucking time of their life. Next thing you know, so when the next shit. Blah, blah, blah. Now that they know after the fact, they may or may not be ready to invest a few dollars in their tranquility, you know what I mean? And their peace of mind, being somewhere away from your everyday rhetoric. Because let's face it, why are we talking about this on this show? Because it is motivating to detox and refresh. You always got to, when you in your cell phone and your shit get fucked up and it's frozen up and ain't doing shit, whatever, and you all paranoid because cell phones now are $1,000 a pop. You on the phone with customer service. The fuck, cell phone. Blah, blah. If they tell you the same thing, I'm gonna tell you. Cut it off and cut it back on. Right? You on this $1 million call, you pissed on all this shit, and they tell you some shit you could have did without calling them. Cut it off and cut it back on. Restart your phone. You restart it. Come on. Oh, hey. Oh, it's working.
Thank you.
So the same thing with your life and your mental stability. You know what I mean? Your emotional and mental stability. You have to have these times of like today's Monday. Today is my detox day. I just came back in from eating, and it's one of the restaurants, Sammy's City Island.
Yes.
It's one of the places where, hey, want some drink? I looked at the lady, I looked at the lady with a little pad, ready to write the drink down. I was like, ginger ale.
Exactly.
I said, what's today, Monday? Yeah. That's a day I set aside, if nothing else, because I know how my week can get real fast like this. I know how it can get. So I have my first day of the week, Monday, is where I remotivate, I refresh, I recharge, I detox, I do all that shit to get back on a stable playing field. And even then, sometimes time will go on and you say, you know what? I need a trip. I need to, get out of here and go. And maybe VR, maybe Jamaica, maybe St. Croix, Aruba. There's so many places, Costa Rica. There's so many places that we go that when you come back, you feel recharged, refreshed, and you're seeing things a lot clearer than the day you left out there. The day you left out is so much bombardment that goes on in the average person's daily day. It's like for example, I'm overshake so much, bro, with like this the merch thing and the work thing, and this that we say this shit so much. Cash at me, cash at. We say that shit so much, you forget there's a limit on that shit. I went to send my shit the other day. That shit popped up, said, that exceeds your limit of shit you can send this week. But this how bogged down we get, bro. We get so bogged down, we lose focus of the small things in between. And you're right, traveling. This is something I used to do, right? I mean, I had a little more time on my hands, but it worked for me. I would stumble on places. And it'd be a weird place. It ain't nothing fancy, but I found that, it's in the cut. I ain't got to worry about talent, or do, or this time, that. I can fuck with this. And in Danbury, Connecticut. It's dumb close to the crib. It's crossing the border. But shit, 20, 25 minutes, I'm in Danbury.
Yes.
And it's some, I get a room over there. You got a restaurant area, the movie theater, which is all the 2 things I fucking need. You got a pool in the hotel. All I need is a decent restaurant. And this was before the whole Grubhub shit. So now it's like, okay, I got the things I need. I'm in my room. I got the cable, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just peaceful.
Yes, you made you make a super valid point, especially like you said by saying that usually it takes women in our lives to get us motivated to travel and to get into certain things. Talent is not lying. Even as guys, Talent and I are boys. He can say to me right now, "Yo, man, let's do a dude's trip." Our first thing, it's gonna be bitches anywhere in there. We can't for the life of us just go someplace where we can sit up, relax. Now here's the fun thing that I know this is how I am. I get to places and zip line and this and that and go see the countryside. And sometimes
Right.
I'm up for all that. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Most times I just want to sit by the damn pool, relax, have a Mai Tai or whatever the native drink is, and just chill. I don't want to do nothing. I want to get dressed maybe once or twice. Y'all tell me there's something we can go and we maybe gotta, dress up and look like a little something. Okay, I might want to do that. But all in all, I really just want to relax because I know my normal everyday is a constant
You're going,
wheel. Yes.
going. Yeah.
So when I get a chance to power down and really relax, there is nothing in the world to me like just plain relaxing. If it means I sit on my phone for a little bit, reach out here and there, whatever, or don't do that at all. Like I said, literally get some tan, see the sun, just take in and drink in calm tranquility. It is imperative, but it is so motivating because what it does is, as Talent just shared, it recharges your battery. And the more that battery is recharged, the more you can get back up and fight those things that seem to be coming at you in real time all day, every day. So it behooves everybody, please find these little places. Like you said, they don't have to be, places that are far. It could be
No, you
simple
you said
places.
you hit the nail on the head. And this is what I like to tell people. My advice to people is this: if we're talking about going somewhere, like say you're a person that you want to be on an island, right? Here's the thing. Oh, I don't have a passport, or da 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 da. United States got some islands. They're called the Virgin Islands. You can go to St. Thomas, you can go to St. Croix, and it's just like going to any other place. You got good beaches, weather, and all that, and resorts, and all inclusive, everything you want. And you get there on your ID because you're still technically in United States territory. Now, I do remember, and it's funny you mentioned like, yo, you get somewhere and you don't want to do all that zip line and shit. That's me all day, right? So people get mad at me sometimes because your face is on the trip and they thinking everything they sign up for, I'm going to
You're
do
gonna
that
be a
too. No, no. I need to be rested for the shit that I'm promising that I gotta do. So if it's host the pool party, if it's host the ball, the gala, if it's host the comedy show, whatever case may be, boom. Yeah, Puerto Rico too. Sharonda, remember we did that.
yeah, sure.
So my thing is I don't do all that shit. You you show me a swim up bar,
They got you.
that's I swear to God, no bullshit. I think was it Costa Rica? Not Costa Rica. Damn. It was one of those fucking I don't know if it's St. Martin, whatever it was, but there's a few of us guys, we hit it off, we clicked. So we would like every day we would meet at the small bar. At the small bar. So the funny shit is after day one, we had such a great time. So now we gotta leave. We got about an hour or two to take a shower, go to the dinner thing. And we all looked at each other, all right, one more shot. We took a shot, we fucked up. We like, all right, so we meet back here tomorrow. I was like, yeah, what time? It was like, well, breakfast over at 11. Okay, so 12 o'clock, back at the office. We call this shit the office. So like we'll meet at the office at 12. Every day, 5 days. We got down there at that swimmer bar. We met, we get twisted, whatever case may be. Bruh, but when I tell you, when we got done with that week and we're sleeping on the planes, coming home, whatever, yeah, you probably still going to be a little physically tired because all the drinking and the sun and beat up on you and all that. And I guarantee you one thing, you will be mentally refreshed, recharged, and all that shit. And you'll come back, and that's all you need. That's the beginning pieces and tools for keeping yourself motivated.
And I think something else that you have to allow yourself, and I know everything, varies and changes. Be open to meeting people from other places too. You
Mhm.
have some of the greatest moments you can ever imagine by meeting people who
That's
are
true.
from totally different walks of life from you, and you bond on the simplest, dumbest thing. So we on at Grand Canyon yesterday, and just as we were leaving, a rainstorm, a true rainstorm came. I'm talking one of them torrential downpours.
Right.
So we waiting to get on the bus, and there was a family, online, in front of us, and the son hated the rain. He was like, I don't like the rain, this, that, the third. But he likes swimming, and he likes being in his wetsuit. Just like if I was in my wetsuit, I'd be all out there. But in my regular clothes, that's a no for me. But it was just funny hearing him say that because he's a little kid, and I was thinking to myself, that is hilarious. Under any other circumstance with your wetsuit on, you're out there running around. But because you don't got your wetsuit on, this is a strong no for you. So I was laughing, and the mother
Strong,
and the
no.
and the father and the and the grandmother, were dying because he and I kind of hit it off. And I was like, so you sure you don't want to just step outside and you take a quick flick and then? Nah, I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm laughing because I was like, wow, it's amazing even listening to kids and how differently they see the world. Because he was like, I
Yeah.
can't wait to get back and catch a shower and all this, various things. And true to life. This again to show you how beautiful life can be. So we're on the bus and we headed back to the main thing where you get to drive back home. And lightning struck the ground, like literally outside of the bus. So I'm
Right.
sitting there, I'm like, oh shoot, I never saw that before, like that close to me. I've seen it on videos and all that, but literally that joint hit right by us. So everybody on the bus went, "Whoa!" I was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Things just got real. Let's get back to this daggone thing so we can get out of the storm."
That's
But I, but
hilarious.
I, but I appreciated it because again, I was saying to myself, it gave me an opportunity to see something and experience something that I probably wouldn't have seen and experienced under any other circumstance. The Grand Canyon is on an Indian reservation. I forget how you pronounce the indigenous people who actually, that's their region of the world. And some of them were there. They were doing the chanting and the dances. And again, this is what I say about being open and having fun. Talent, I'm like you. You know me and you. We think comical stuff. So they were up there doing this indigenous dance where they kind of like bounce their shoulders. So I was like, oh, sure. I said, let me get up there. I'm going to take it to the left, to the left, to the right. Yo, they were crying. They was like, "Yo, we hate you." I was like, "Look," I said, "Look, if y'all can't have some fun with this, what are we doing?" I said, "That's the problem. Too many of y'all are taking life too serious. You gotta laugh. You gotta have some fun. If you're not doing these things, then what are you doing? Life is serious enough as it is. Y'all see what's going on in the world. If it's
Yeah.
not this, new strains of this is coming out, new strains of that, more stuff to scare you. So enjoy your life, but be motivated by seeing and experiencing things that you don't ordinarily see and experience. I promise you, it'll change your life in ways that you can't even begin to imagine. And something else that, talent, and I'm a definitely, agree to this. I was never a big cruise fan because, I just didn't understand it. I didn't really get the whole concept. As a kid, I used to go see my grandparents off on cruises all the time as a little kid, and always thought it was dope. I was like, all right, they're on a big boat, whatever. 5 years ago, I go on my first cruise, and I can't get enough of them. I'm like, yo, this cruise is the truth.
Yeah.
Because to me, there's something about being in your stateroom, and if you get a balcony, you can look out into the ocean, and you don't see nothing but water for eons. And in my mind, I just keep thinking to myself, as huge as this boat is, the water is that much bigger. I want y'all to really think about that. And we had, fortunately, our greatest ancestors travel from Africa all the way to where we are now. So if you're not taking train rides, if you're not taking plane rides, if you're not taking boat rides, I had a conversation with my mother today. My grandfather, God bless his soul, he passed when he was 104. But my grandfather was around, and I remember having these conversations. He remembers before cars, before planes, and obviously before a black president. But he had the opportunity to see all of those things. I'm not going to say y'all, we take all of these things for granted. And that's why it's important that you get on buses. It's important that you get on trains. It's important that you get on planes. Why? Because we had a point in this country where we weren't able to do these things, y'all. So now that you have these things at your disposal, do them. Why not? What have you got to lose? Do you know what it's like to take a train across country or to take a bus trip across country so that you can honestly see the countryside? That is such a beautiful thing. see all of the trees, the various trees, the way that the landscape changes from moment to moment. All of that stuff lends to you as a human being, which translates into what you bring back to the world when you start giving back to the world. We gotta look at these things. We gotta be motivated by them, guys. I
Let me
can't.
tell
I
you
like.
something. I'm a cruise junkie, right?
Okay.
Um, and one thing I've noticed that by going to different cruise lines is there's just like what we started talking about at the top of the show, being in a different headspace. And the different cruise lines put you in a different headspace because each of them have a certain different distinction in clientele for the most part. Carnival, they got most party ships. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if you in that festive mood and you want to celebrate that week you're taking off or whatever it is, you want to dip with Carnival because they're gonna party harder than the other lines. That's a fact. Norwegian, they got a little bit of both, 50-50, but it's a little more stush for the most part. A lot more international people, if you will. But to your point of meeting people from all over, a cruise is Grand Central for that, bro. Like when you're on a
Yes.
cruise, and I'm a prime candidate for it because I'm a casino guy. So I'm in the
Mm.
casino every day at some point, and people are coming around. You're meeting so many people again, just like I said on that trip with the swim up bar. The same thing in the casino. All of a sudden, you got 10 casino buddies. Everywhere you'll see each other on the ship, and you would think y'all grew up the fucking together, but y'all just met and just kindred spirits and hit it off, and then boom. But it puts you in a certain space. You move when you want to move. See, here's the thing. Everybody got this thing how they call themselves, how what they consider downtime, right? For
Yes.
me, it's whenever I have a day when I don't necessarily have to be somewhere or do something at a certain time. Like even today, even though Monday's my detox day, it's not a full free day because I know I got to be ready for my 1 o'clock show. I know I got to get shit done in between that, be ready for Motivation Monday at 6. You know what I mean? I used to have an 8. I
Yes.
used to have, Monday used to be very overwhelming. And, we have 4 or 5 things going on. So now it's peaceful because you have these time zones in between to get other stuff done. Like right now, today was my deadline. I had to get everything done for the 30th anniversary. Shout out to Atlantic City, 30th anniversary happening July 31st. Excuse me, 30th, 31st to August 1st. It's off the fucking chain. If you haven't locked in a room, you can still lock in tickets. Um, yeah, so today is still one of those days. But a perfect dial it back day for me is a day where I don't have to do anything or be anywhere. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
then I'm really relaxed because when you got to be somewhere, you watch out for that. Like especially live shows that I got to physically travel to these days. I got to take a minute. You know what I mean? Do everything a certain way. That's what I told you at the beginning of the show. I made myself get on these super early flights, which I'm not a fan of. Because I know 5 o'clock mean I'm up at 3 getting ready to go to the airport.
Yes.
Got no sleep. So I'm not a fan of them, but I said to myself, T, if something goes wrong, because the airports are crazy right now. I said, if something goes wrong with a flight, I got plenty of time to figure
Just
something out to get from A to Z. You know what I mean? And how it ended up being a smart thing because trip number 1 was good. Trip number 2 was good. Trip number 3 was good. Trip number 4 was good. And right on trip number 5 is where the bullshit was happening at the airport. And I was like, so I had to get creative. And it took all fucking day. That's why a good thing I'm up in the morning. Took all fucking day. And I got to the door of the show, the 7:30 show at 7:30.
wow. See,
I'm literally, and I'm traveling, Amir. It's funny because I'm traveling in my basketball shorts and shit, right? Totally not show ready. So when I get to the train station that I got to get on before I go right to the joint, I'm sitting outside. There's nobody out there. Everybody's up there waiting for the train. I'm changing right there outside on the bench, like with the pants on, the sneakers. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be
I gotta
simple.
do what I gotta do. Yeah. It, it. And that brings us to our second wave of what we want to talk about today, which is all the little nuances and the coming together as a collective. I've said this on, again, some of our other shows, but we have got to, your friends post stuff, like it, love it, hate it, whatever, but say something. Stop being a lurker. Don't be a hater. First of all, I hate the word hate because I just think that we shouldn't have certain words in our vocabulary because words and ideologies carry weight and they carry energy. I'm a big proponent of love, which is why y'all usually hear me speaking from love and from a standpoint of love, because I believe that that's the highest form of energy we can vibrate on. And me personally, based off of what I've shared with y'all in terms of my family creed, which is it's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice. I just feel like the more you appreciate, the more you enjoy, the more of that comes to you. The more you look for problems, the more you find problems or look for things to go wrong, you find that too. You don't understand how powerful your mind is, how powerful your energy is, and how powerful your thoughts and your words are. So it behooves you when you see one of your girlfriends or one of your male friends or your sister or your brother, your cousin, your mama, whoever, they doing something that is wonderful or they enjoying themselves. Hit a like. Congratulations. That's dope. I'm happy for you. Why? Because when it's their turn or when it's people's turn to clap for you, that's how you get your applause. But if you sitting around doing this, trust me, the applause isn't coming for you at all. I can guarantee you that. And I'm not saying that to be mean or
Right.
facetious. I'm just telling you that's just the way that the world works. That's just the way energy works. That's just the way being a good human being works.
Right.
That's the easiest thing for us to do, to say thank you, to say please, to celebrate each other, to lift each other up. Even if it's not you, if somebody else's child does well, I don't care what it is. They graduated, they got their driver's license. It doesn't hurt for you to say congratulations. What is wrong with us? I was just sharing this with Talent and our producer Prophet Pete. The only problem that I have for us as a community, and when I say us, I'm talking about those of African American community, is our inability to celebrate one another. We are always so in competition with each other that it just doesn't make sense to me. First of all, I don't even know why we're in that much competition with each other. The only person that you truly in competition with day in and day out is you. It's not your sister, your brother, it ain't
Right.
your cousin, it ain't your friends, it's you. And the reason why you're in competition with you is because you're trying to be a better version of you than you were yesterday. That's all that you're in competition about. You're not in competition because you think that your life is better, you do more, you're smarter, you got more friends, you've done more greater things. None of that is either here nor there. What is neither here nor there is you doing everything you can to be a better version than who you were yesterday. Because when you're a better version than who you were yesterday, that translates and it permeates into all of the people and things around you. And the beautiful thing about that is then all of them, it turns the light on in them to do the same so that we keep this circle going. When y'all look at the world and we look at all the things and these movements, how they really, grow the way that they grow, is because people become of the same mind frame and the same mindset. They become of the same energy. So therefore, it continues to spread. We have to do that with ourselves as a collective as well. The beauty of this, I said this to y'all many times. I am so humble and thankful for the Alfreda Jacksons, the Drusillas, the Pink, the Tina Pink, all of y'all, because over the last year, hanging out with this cat here has allowed me to befriend all of you guys and have a new tribe of people who not only am I proud to say I know, but I'm proud to enjoy watching you guys' successes and enjoying watching you guys do amazing and wonderful things as well. Why? Because the more y'all do amazing and wonderful things, the more all of us do. If we lift each other up, there's nothing that can stop us, y'all. I mean, nothing. I truly believe that. But y'all gotta continue that, pass that torch, not only to your children, but to your girlfriends, to your male friends, to your cousins, to everybody. And if you got some people in your tribe who don't understand it, it doesn't make a difference. Love is always gonna stomp out hate. Always. Not sometimes, always. What happens is that person eventually has to go. All this time I've been trying to be mean and spiteful. For what? What has it gotten me? What has it gotten me? The moment
Yo.
I gave in the love, all of a sudden things are changing for me, you know?
You know our boy Los, right?
Yes.
So I had to tell this story again because it came right to mind when you said that. Because Los, this is a perfect, and this is why the love I have for the brother now has fucking went from the love I originally had to the 100th power because I always respect real. I, always, there's nothing else I can do but love and respect honesty. It might not be in agreement of what I thought it should be or would be, but God damn it, it's so respectful. So Los one time, right? He said, "Man, I gotta talk to you." I gotta know it. He was just like, "I gotta talk to you. You know, when we get some time, whatever, whatever. You know, make sure you got some time because it's not no quick shit. I really." I said, "All right." So I called him a few hours later. So what's on your mind, brother? He said, "Man, you're a good dude." Out of nowhere, you know, when people say shit like this, out of nowhere, your fucking eyebrows go up. "Man, you're a good dude." I was like, "Yeah, thanks, Flo. You're a good dude too." He said, "No, no, you're a better dude than me." He said, so you know, it's been weighing on me. I got to come clean. He said, yo, I used to hate you. I used to hate on you. Even when he was around me, hanging with me,
Uh-huh.
he was like, yo, I
Mm-hmm.
used to I didn't like you, man. Like, and I was like, why? He's like, I don't even. He said, dude, I'm being honest with you. There's no reason. It was no girl involved, no nothing. He said, I just didn't like you, man. Like, he said, everybody would say all these nice things about you and talk about you, like your name was in the streets, like, oh, and talented, da da da, all the positive shit. And he said, I was like, man, fuck that, right? So I'm sitting on the other side of the phone, bro, like, this shit is a total shock, but I'm taking it in. It's his moment, and he's like, and then he goes. I said, well, damn, you know, we've been friends for so long. He said, I know. He said, but let me tell you, he said, when it changed for me was, and I remember this like yesterday, remember, Sue's Rendezvous is my town. It's literally
Yes.
4 blocks from my house. So everybody used to come up here to go to Sue's. It was the best strip club, blah, blah, blah. So one night we're all hanging. It's me, him, Quincy, a couple other motherfuckers, Rick, he got a friend with him, whatever. Now, Los lived an hour and 10 minutes out of the city, like Newburgh area,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
like Middletown, not Middletown.
Okay.
And it took them an hour and a half to get to the city or work commute. So that particular night, Amir, you know how we get. If it's a good night, we getting fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's a good night, the vibes are flowing, the fucking libations are flowing, the titties are everywhere, whatever. We throwing them back a couple bottles of Patron. We white boy waste. So he's like, he still got his fucking work suit
Suit
on.
on.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, man, good time. I'm gonna hit it, whatever. And my heart just at the time, because some things I don't even think about. Some things I can tell you, hey, I've been thinking about it. I don't even think about it. I'm looking at him and I'm like, bro, I said, you need to come stay at the crib. Man. Nah, I gotta go. We're working on like this, that. But I've traveled those roads, so I know in the wee hours, even if you sober, bro, there ain't
It's
no
tough.
street lights on them roads. You know what I mean? And deer and all that. But now we twisted. We 2 bottles in. I'm like, nah, bro. I live right up this block. You sure? You sure? Yeah, come through, nigga. Go to work from there. Got some toothbrushes, toothpaste, whatever you need. Shower, towels. Don't do this ride. Do that shit
Yeah.
tomorrow when you sober, whatever. He's like, no, I appreciate that, man. He said, but T, and so this is what he's saying to me, right? He's telling me reacting to the story. And I'm like, yeah, that was cool. He said, nah, but that wasn't the kicker. He said the kicker was, he said, you came out with a couple of pillows and a blanket, and threw it on the couch. And I was drunk, and I said, yo, thanks, man. I really appreciate this. And I said, no, take my bed. I'm sleeping on the couch. He said, nigga, when you did that, he said, I felt like a bitch. You know how you take a bitch to your crib one night, but you don't want
You
no
want
pussy
to
tonight. You want to impress her. I'm going to impress this bitch. I'm not even going to try for no nigga. So he was like, I felt like that. He's like, yo, at that moment, I said, this is a good dude. Now I understand why niggas are saying good dude, blah, blah, blah. He said, but then there's all these years in between now me talking to you and then when it happened that I'm like, how do I say this shit? Like, do I even come clean and be like, nigga, I
about
didn't like you? So when he came clean and told me that shit, bro, first of all, I had to do nothing but respect it to the fullest. And I end up even liking the dude and respecting and having more love for him now because just hearing that shit, bro, you know how hard that was? I don't even know if I could have did that.
You know what's so crazy to your point with that, and this goes back to exactly this part of our show today. That's what I mean. Look, we have people who dislike us, as y'all have seen. I think there's a meme going around that says people dislike you because of the way that other people love you, and all kind of interesting things. That isn't really your call, though. I can't be held accountable because you choose to view me in a different light or have a different opinion of me based off of your own ideologies. I have nothing to do with that. What I can do, though, is, like I stated a little while ago, be the best version of myself that I could possibly be, which means I always bring my heart, my soul, my energy to a situation to the best of my ability because I want the absolute best outcome, not only for myself, but for all parties involved. And what
Right,
Talon just shared with us is what I mean about changing people who even hate you to people who love you because in their heart of all hearts, they have only been able to figure out or see things through the cracked lenses that they're looking at it through. And I'm
right,
saying lenses because everything is a perspective, but it's perspective usually based off of your own interesting version of the world, which I always say doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes it your version, which is fine. But go back and look at your version and how you view the world and see whether it stacks up to the version of the world that you want to be in and be a part of. And if it doesn't, then you need to change that view. Maybe get those glasses fixed, spray some Windex on them, clean the lenses, whatever you need to do in order to fix that, you got to fix it. Because if you continue to go down that road, you end up being one of those people who we all have, friends or associates who fall under this category. The world hates me, nobody likes me, everything is against me. No, it's only you against yourself, really. It
right.
ain't anything and anybody else because everybody else can't wait to see you win. But we can't see you win until you see you win. That's the key to this statement and to what I'm saying. All victories come through you as an individual. It doesn't come through a collective. It doesn't come from other people validating you. It doesn't come from other people telling you that you dope or that you this, that. It comes from you seeing that in yourself and then embracing it and sharing it with the world. This man right here, I can tell y'all this unequivocally because we're having this conversation right now. That's what he kind of helped me see with this whole, doing our motivational Monday and our race debaters on Fridays. Talon can tell you, like I told y'all, our true first beginning started in LA. If we told y'all those stories, y'all would be on here laughing for hours upon hours with the stupid stuff we used to get into for them birthday parties in LA. Am I lying, T?
No,
We used
no
to,
lies
we used
given.
to, you know. But with that having been said, like I said, I took upon myself to believe that Talent and several other people who are not only industry cats that I love and respect, but people who, I thought only really rock with me because of my brother. But as I got older and all of these people came in, it was like, nah, man, we rock with you, bro, because you got a point of view, you got something to say,
Yeah.
and you truthful about it. You ain't one of these dudes who flip flops. You're not all over the place, and you stay true to your guns. You are one of those dudes that we see you. You the same Amir, no matter where I see
But
you.
see, that's
And
the
I
thing
and
right
I
there. That's a smart. Here's the thing, Amir, because you're in a pickle. White people say pickle. You're in a predicament in certain type of pickle situation where when you're the relative of said entertainer or athlete or whatever, right? You may have met someone because of that circle, because of that connect. That's 6 degrees of separation. That's that circle that brings everyone together. However, to really befriend someone and make a friendship that's genuine and stand on your own is exactly what you just said. When I'm around you, we're not just talking. Even way back in the beginning, we didn't just stand there and talk about what your brother, who was the link for it. You wasn't a guy like, oh yeah, my brother, blah, 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 blah. we would talk about everything else. So this guy has a POV. This guy has a direction and a brain that's thinking on its own wavelength. The one thing, there's a ton of people out there. I've met relatives of a ton of different athletes or whatever, and they don't have nothing but that to talk about, or that, that's the most tangible thing they have. So then that relationship is only going to be that, and it's going to be stagnated because of that. So what's going to happen when off season in the NBA? We're not speaking. What's going to
True.
happen in the winter when the dude who ain't do the cookout, he ain't cooking out? We're not speaking because you didn't bring anything else to the table, so to speak. It's like women say all the time, and when they meet people, their significant others, they always they wonder, well, what are you bringing to the table? Or they may not even say it verbally, but they're thinking it, and they're doing their own assessment of it. Like, what is this guy? I like this guy. He's handsome. He has a job or whatever, whatever. Okay, what does he come with? Like, what is he bringing to the table? Like, you know what I mean? And that's important in every friendship and every motivated move you make in your life. Anytime you say, "Hey man," because I have these conversations all the time. I'm just not. I want to do it, but I'm just not really on it. Nah, nah, nah. Well, you're not motivated to do that. You're not. You're going through the motions. You're doing something that maybe somebody told you should be doing, or something you think you should be doing, but yet you're still not motivated to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's why I said it's imperative that within your circle you have cats not only like talent, but like I said, the Alfreda Jacksons, the Sharondas, the Tina Pick, because each and every one of y'all motivate each and every one of us
Yeah,
to do what we do. Y'all don't know. I'm
that's a
talking
fact.
and trying to keep the conversation going, but I'm definitely reading you guys' comments as well. And the one thing that I love about each and every one of y'all is the fact that you guys contribute to the conversation. You
Yeah,
guys add everything and add value to this. The year that we spent together, a lot of y'all don't know this, but as I shared on other platforms and shared with some of y'all, that kept me from losing my sanity. All When We Were White Wednesdays was just as much fun for me as it was for y'all because it was an opportunity for us to bond over music. It was an opportunity for us to just, put together some things that allowed us to just laugh and put aside whatever odd other things were going on in the world. But all of those moments and all of those things absolutely added to everything that we do all day, every day. I look forward to Mondays. I look forward to Fridays. Those are my two favorite days of the week now because I know I'm gonna get on here with you guys. If I don't speak to y'all, obviously during the week, because some of y'all, I'm on sending y'all videos and all kind of funny stuff and crazy stuff. Why? Because that's what we're supposed. Like I said, this is what we're supposed to be lifting each other up. If you see something funny and you know it's something in Talent's wheelhouse, you send it to Talent. So then this way he could laugh. He spends his whole day making people laugh. So you don't think that every now and again, if you send him something that makes him chuckle, that has to put him in a good headspace?
oh
That's
hell yeah.
this is what all this is about. And it doesn't have to be only things that make people chuckle. If you're a dog person and you see a dope dog video, send it to your friends who love dogs. If there's something else that your people like or enjoy, send that to them. But most important, like I said, is just do what you can to truly, truly uplift one another. We're the one community struggling so hard with that, y'all. And it's not necessary because if we honestly just put forth a third of the effort, a fourth of the effort, y'all would see so much of things turn around for us in so many different ways because now we'd have this one synergy going that they can't stop. Once that ball starts rolling, they'd be like, uh-oh, we in trouble now. Yes, yes.
I'll say this, bro, and to double down on what you said about the people this past year that's been on these platforms with us. When my birthday hit, even Father's Day, um, and people that have contributed with the power of the show. When I say the power, I'm talking about tequila. So, they have its address because it's in the tequila. But when the birthday hit, and even like Father's Day, I would get these cards. And thank you guys very much for the cards and well wishes. But they, to your point, Amir, they would, the inside of the card, you write a little something.
Hmm.
They would fill these joints up with paragraph on top of paragraph on top of paragraph, stating what you just stated, how important this past year has been that we could do what we did, whether it was Twitter After Dark, Bump and Grind, White Wednesdays, Thirsty, like no matter what it was, divided states, race to be, it kept people going in more ways than one. It's like you just said, and people need to know it's therapeutic across the board. People, don't think that all this is just good for you. This is good for us. This is a goose gander situation. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And we take that same thing and get that energy. And like for example, I wake up and I'm motivated on top of my brain, and then somewhere in the middle of the day I may be a little less motivated, and then when I know I'm coming up on 6 o'clock, this
I'm
perks me back.
back. I
Real
absolutely agree with you. I like I said, I can't wait for this. I sometimes I'm brainstorming a little bit, and then sometimes I'm just like, let me be at ease. Today was an at ease day, and like I said, I truly thought about it, and I said, with as much moving as my partner is doing, I know he's seeing things that have to keep him motivated, have to keep him smiling, whether it's staying in the various hotels that you're staying in, or like I said, just seeing the countryside as you move and shake in these various places. We, like I said, tend to get caught up, oh, it's too much to do this or it's too much to do that. And as I stated earlier, no, it's not too much. If you can take money and put it towards your car, or take money and put it towards a new bag, or take money and put it towards sneakers, because, for us guys, like Talon said, everything for us is the dumbest things in the world, stuff that tangible, but not really isn't tangible when you think about it, because there's nothing more tangible or more appealing than your state of mind. In all fairness, and your peace and your tranquility, there is nothing on the planet bigger and better than that. That's why, sayings like health is wealth and all that stuff is so powerful, because it's the truth. If like I said, you guys didn't learn anything else from this past year of everything that went on in the world, it should have showed you how important it is to have your health together. And that means not only physically, but mentally as well, because as long as your mental is together, then you can always pivot, plot, and plan something else. But if your mental is screwed up, then
right.
everything else is not too far from being jacked up as well. Believe you me when I tell you that. So I really encourage. And here's my thing. Look, y'all, there are things that we could do also that can help one another. If you're that friend that listens and gives great advice, sometimes they don't need you to tell them what to do. They may need you to just listen. It's okay to just listen. Keep it close to the vest, and if they say to you, "What do you think?" then you give them your opinion or
Then
whatever
you
the
jump
case
in.
may be. But
Well,
sometimes
sir,
they
let me
they
ask you a
might.
question.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to cut you off. What are your
No.
give me your top five things that motivate the mirror?
Top thing, five things that motivate me. Okay, so the first thing that motivates me is getting up first thing in the morning. I try to pray every morning because I feel like that's the best way for me to start my day. So I thank God for obviously waking me up, and then I thank Him for my circle. I always say immediate family, meaning my children and my grandchildren and my brothers and sisters and stuff like that, my nieces and nephews. But then the tail end of that prayer says my extended friends and family, which includes all of the people on the various platforms that we, talk to. After I get past that, I usually am on my way to work. Music is a big thing for me. So then I got to get my music going. And I'm usually listening to everything from, as we did with White Wednesdays, music. I go across the genre. So I could 1 minute be listening to Stevie Wonder and the next minute be listening to Tears for Fears, literally just like that. But that works for me because I like the varying sounds and I like the varying, different kinds of music. The next thing for me is I'm an aesthetics person, meaning I like to look at things. So I'm always impressed when I'm on the train or wherever, however I'm traveling, moving. I'm looking at people's aesthetics. So if somebody has on a nice button up or some nice shoes, or a woman has on some beautiful heels or a beautiful dress or a nice purse, I take note of that and I go, wow, that's dope. I may or may not say something to them because the world is quirky and weird in the sense that everybody, some people take compliments, some people don't. So I, kind of judge or gauge the situation. After that, I usually drink water a lot because water is a big thing for me. I try to keep my system as flush as I can, and and so forth and so on. And then lastly, As the day progresses, I try to look up in the sky and I look for cloud patterns. I look for flowers. I look for things that are beautiful in nature. Because for me, I love the fact that we have something creating this beauty, whatever it may be. I know some people say God. I know some people, have varying things. I just look at it for the beauty that it is. I'm thankful for it, and those are my five things that really keep me, excited and
I'm
motivated.
I'm going to give you 10 only because my six kids take up six of them, right? So those little six tarts are six lumps of motivation. The other four, I'm like you, music, of course. Waking up, absolutely. Competition, right?
Mm.
I love competition. That motivates me to no end. But the number one thing I think is when someone asks me for it's like two parts. Someone asks me for my advice, and the second part of that is when they actually use it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So because people sometimes talk to me just to talk to me, they don't really. I got to see through the bullshit half the time. So sometimes it's genuine, and sometimes people really want the advice. For example, I was in Greensboro doing the Comedy Zone, and there's this young brother over the pandemic the past year. We met virtually, never met in person. He was a producer on one of my shows. It's just comedy. He's a comedian in his own right. Young kid. I think he's 3, 4 years in the game or some shit like that. Um, we've had him on our lives, but King David, shout out to King David, but he's a fan of the game and a fan. So I get there. He's the host of the show. I'm playing the comedy club. Somewhere in the night, the owner says to him, because he hosted off and on frequently, he said, "Hey man, I want you to host the rest of the weekend. Tony Rock's coming starting tomorrow for the weekend. I want you to host." And he said, "Well, absolutely." He said, I said it so fast. "Yeah, I'll do it." And then he goes, "Yeah, you can't pay, right?" So he's like, "Oh, okay." So he pulls me to the side and said, "Let me ask you a advice, man." He said, "The owner asked me, could I do the weekend and host uh, Tony Rock?" He said, "But ain't no pay." I said, "Well," I said, "You do it. You do it for several reasons. You do it because you're padding your resume of who you worked with. You do it because you're networking and having connections." I said, "But more importantly, this is probably a test." I said, "These clubs, they like to test them. They want to see if you down because they use you a lot. You've been there, so they want to see if you down. So I said, chances are he gonna pay, but he's trying to see if he tells you there is no money, will you still do it?" He said, "You think so?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right, we'll do it." He calls me this morning, Amir, like, "Bro, I just want to say thank you so much for your advice, man." I said, "What happened?" He said, "Man, I had a great weekend. Me and Tony Rock and Jordan Rock, we hit it off. We hung out. It was a great network and connection for me." He said, "And I rock." He said, "But he said, they paid me the full fee, the full, fee for hosting." He said, "You was fucking right." And that motivates the shit out of me.
Yo, and with that, and I love the fact that T shared that story. This is what I mean about lifting each other up, guys. Some of you have been in positions that people are trying to get to. They may or may not have the answers. They may or may not even know what lurks behind the counter or behind the curtain, but you do. So you give them the best advice you can give them. Now, whether or not they use it and take it, there's nothing you could do about that, but you know that you did your part, which was give them the advice necessary. What I took from that story that Talent just shared with us, and I take this in everything that I do, everything isn't always a monetary value. To the same story that Talent just shared, I got the opportunity to meet Tony up at Salsa when Rob first brought him up there a couple of years ago. Never met Tony. I was familiar with Chris, but very few times in passing. Again, obviously, like you said, because of circles. Me and Tony hit it off. That dude, till this day, I text him every blue moon. "Hey, bro, just checking in on you. Hope everything is good." He hit me back. "Amir, things are good, brother. I appreciate you." You never know who is going to be enamored with you, who is going to be taken by you, who is going to enjoy your presence. As much as you may be admiring their presence and their energy, they're doing the same to and for you.
Right.
So I just hope that you guys take all of the nuggets and all the things that Tyler and I share with y'all week in and week out. And not only do y'all use them for yourselves, but like I said, please share them with the people in your circles. Because the more of us who take this information and we get it out there to the masses, the more we'll see the change that we want to see, y'all. And I just want to see everybody dope and doing great. Because the more of us are doing that, when we call for those moments where talent says, hey, look, we're going to take this to Morocco. Everybody money right? So we in Morocco and ain't nobody got to worry about anything. We all just doing what we do. So I leave that with y'all. As always, it's Motivational Monday. I love you guys. It's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice. Y'all utilize that. Take that with you. That man right there, King Talent, continue doing what you're doing, King. Continue sharing those nuggets because, as you said, you're motivating that next generation. You got 30 years in the game, so you got nothing but love to give these kids who coming behind you because they're going to have to hold it down as
Exactly.
y'all continue to, move on. Salute, King. I love you, brother.
Peace,
You
my
know how
brother.
we do. We'll do
Hey,
this
King
again.
Amir, King Talent, we love y'all. Everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. We love you, and ain't nothing y'all can do about it. This has been Motivation Monday. Peace.
Peace.